Welcome to the Museum of Art. I'm glad you're joining us today. My name is Philipp Malzl and I'm one of the museum educators here. Today I'm in an exhibition titled Far Out, the Westry Scene, photography of Victoria Sambunaris. Victoria Sambunaris is a landscape photographer based in New York City who grew up in Pennsylvania, the child of Greek immigrants. And she has been enamored with the West, with the Western United States, to be specific, for most of her adult life. Following graduate school, she took her first trip out west with a friend, a colleague, and was absolutely stunned by what she found, and realized soon that this was her life's work, that she wanted to document this place that we're all familiar with, but have yet to explore on other levels. And Victoria is that guide to a new vision of the American West. If you grew up in Utah or have lived here a long time, like I have for 15 years, you may think that you're really familiar with the state and what it has to offer. And I think that is due to, number one, our personal travels around the national parks and other highlights in this beautiful state. But also, I think it's due to the familiar photography that we encounter in coffee table books and so forth. Now, you will not find those kinds of photographs in the show, and yet find a familiarity, I believe, in these images that say, I know this place, but I haven't quite seen this view. Victoria is excellent at identifying unusual perspectives, composing her images in a way that reframe the place in a completely new way. She has said that Utah is remarkable in many ways, from its red rock landscape to the whiteness of salt flats and the changing color of the Great Salt Lake. I want to start today or focus on one specific image that she references here, and that is the whiteness of the salt flats. Let's look at this image titled Train on Salt Flats, I-80. If you've traveled on I-80 going from Salt Lake City to Nevada and beyond into California, you would have passed this very spot. But I imagine that you didn't stop unless you had a flat tire or had some other emergency, because that's not really a place where people take breaks. It's a place to get from A to B. It's a means to an end. And that's what's fascinating about Victoria Sambunaris' photography, is that she seeks out opportunities like this that are easily passed by or overlooked, and finds beauty and poignance in them. In this image, she photographs a wagon or series of, I guess, a train wagon with different cars, stopped, as it appears, in this spot, the white salt flats along I-80. And we see the street in the foreground. We see the interstate, one of three that run from coast to coast, likely the very one that she took to get from New York to this spot. So here we have I-80. We have 12 bands of horizontal lines, the street itself, the markings on the street, the shoulder, the salt off the side of the road, another strip of gravel, another strip of salt, followed by the train, and then half of the composition, just white clouds. I think there is power in this image. It is arresting. It is almost haunting. And it was one of the first images that captured my attention when I saw her work and really stayed with me. It is also the very first image that I took in Utah. And most of the images in this exhibition are from Utah, others from Nevada, Arizona, a couple from Texas, Idaho, Colorado, but most of them are from Utah. And so this then being the first, taken in 2002, when she took one of her first trips, which would become an annual tradition, several month-long trips to the West. So we have this image here, that we have this parked train, we have the clouds, and what's interesting about these clouds is that they're not accidental. Vicky says that photography to an artist is neither an accident nor good fortune. She says, although both may occur, one's personal vision can only be accomplished by plotting, measuring, and being steeled with patience. Knowing the composition will ultimately reveal itself. I love that quote. It really sums up what she is all about. She does not take snapshots. She does not look for opportunities to just take a roll of film or maybe 100 images and then pick out the best. But rather, she shoots analog. She has a wooden 5x7-inch field camera where she uses sheet negatives. One is inserted at a time, and each image is carefully chosen, composed, and ultimately taken and then developed. That was the case here. She actually admits to sometimes waiting for hours and even days to get just the right light conditions as well as the right weather conditions. She wanted kind of white out, as she says. Other times she waits for a long time for blue sky or for certain types of weather. So patience is truly one of the hallmarks of Victoria Sambunaris' photography. And I think you can really see the careful and deliberate and intentional composition of the image. How she lines everything perfectly straight. How she positions herself, and as you get close, you will see what I mean, right in the center to show you a small but rewarding detail if you look closely. And it is this, that the central car of this train here is, in fact, has words on it, and it says Trans-America, placed in the very center. Something else I noticed as I looked closer at this image is that most of these aren't actually train cars, but they are semi-trailers parked on top of train cars. So 15 out of these 24 wagons carry trailers. It says something about where are they going? What are they about to do? What goods are they going to deliver? And these are the questions that interest Victoria Sambunaris. She says that I'm interested in how we structure ourselves in the landscape, our relationship to it, how we manipulate and change it. So really she's interested in how we live, how we exist, flourish, but also how we use and at times abuse the land. You will find in this exhibition images of mining resources, from copper to potash, coal, gravel. And you will also see many images with trains, just thinking about how do these resources make it from point A to point B. She says, in fact, about trains that they bring to mind a different sense of distance, space, and time. And to me, you really get the sense that time stands still in this image. And we get a slice of life that is often overlooked, but integral to making life work in the United States today. And you see, as you look closer and longer, even a shred or bits of tire here from cars that have been passing by for years, testaments to our passing by and really inability and unwillingness at times to stop and look closer. I believe that you will get a lot out of these images if you, first of all, come, of course, and visit the exhibition and slow down and look closer and see what Victoria Sambunaris wants to tell you through her images. This exhibition is open until May 1st, 2021. I invite you to come visit for yourself. Thank you so much for joining today.